guys, I gotta tell you, whew, that was not fun. Oh my gosh. Make sure my mic's on. Yep, I should be all mic'd up. If I'm not, I know you guys are kind enough. You guys are awesome enough to let me know. We were actually all set and prepped and ready to go on at noon. And just like when every other time when I don't expect it, equipment failure, equipment failure, equipment failure. We switched over to the other lapel mics, and I like my original one. I don't like this one. I'm not a fan of it. It's big, it's bulky, it looks dumb near, and I think I can hear a difference in it when I play the audio back and I listen to it. I can actually hear a difference. Hey, hold on, my friend. Thank you for being the first one to show up. You are absolutely awesome, Sauce. We're still preparing. We're still practicing. We're still rehearsing. We're still trying to get our deal figured out when it comes to the social media sustainable gardening thing. But for all of you guys that choose to hang out with me every single day, I got to tell you, I true wholeheartedly from the bottom of my heart appreciate you because you don't have to do this. You have better things to do with your time. I know you do. I know you do. Hey, Mauricio, how's it going, man? Hopefully you're looking at YouTube and you see I'm working right now. So, like seriously, brother. Hopefully you're looking at you're calling me and you're looking at your screen, and I hope you realize that this is in real time. I'm actually working at the moment, but I'd love to hear from you later. We're still in preparations. Pardon me for the show. We're still practicing. We're still going through rehearsals. We're still going through setup for you guys that are choosing to hang out with me. Thank you. My name is Chuck the Sandman Collins, and welcome to Together We Grow Sustainable Gardening Solutions and Adventures. It's always an adventure in the gardens. Every time you guys choose to come online with me, we truly appreciate you because we know you have other things that you could do with your time, but we want to give you a real world Sonoran gardening experience. That means the same things that we go through every single day in our gardens. I want you guys to see it. I want you guys to see that it's a lot of fun. It's like 99% fun, but that 1% does contain a lot of work. Like a lot. Okay, it says 99%. That's not fair. 90% fun, 10% work. But that 10% work is also fun. So thank you for you amazing folks that are choosing to log in and sign in already. I apologize again. We were actually set up and we were ready to go at noon, and I had some equipment failures. The lapel mic that I usually use, my favorite one, my go-to, I have to charge it every single day, and I forgot to plug it in. I forgot to recharge the battery. So when I tried to set it up today, the transmitter was dead, and voila, it was already noon, no sound. So I had to go back to the newer ones. I'm not crazy about the newer one, guys. If you guys are these newer ones, these newer lapel mics, and they plug right into the bottom of your phone. It's like seriously simple plug and play. And I know the sound comes through somewhat clear, but I accidentally knocked my phone. Accidentally, I didn't intentionally knock my phone down. I accidentally knocked my phone off the tripod and off the gimbal, and the transmitter that's plugged into the phone just absolutely exploded, just shattered, and it scared the crap out of me. I was like, "Oh my god, if this thing is stuck in the bottom of my phone, what am I gonna do?" Luckily, it wasn't stuck in there. It wasn't such an emergency. I got over it. No harm, no foul. I ended up getting a new one. Amazon replaced it. But I'd rather go with the tried and true lapel mic. I'm old school. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, guys, wherever you are, wherever you're located, I hope you're gardening. I hope you're out there getting your hands dirty. If it's not sustainable gardening, I hope it's traditional. Either way, I just hope you're out there getting your steps in. Speaking of steps in, I'm going to leave this camera right here so that you guys can enjoy the view. And I'm going to go into the house and I'm going to get my watch because I should be counting steps right now. And I'm not. Heads up, on average, I'm averaging 8,000 steps every video. 8,000 steps every video. It's recommended that you get at least between 4,000 and 7,000 steps in a day. I'm averaging 8,000 steps per 1 hour video that I do hanging with you guys. So give me a second. I'll be right back. I hope you're enjoy the view. You'll probably see some cool birds, 1 or 2, 3 or 4, maybe more. I'm doing that thing like Heathcliff where you rhyme again. Not trying to, but I'll be right back, guys. Another thing I love about hanging with you guys is, well, you probably can't hear me now. Audio's probably cracking up because I'm inside my house. Do, 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 do. Point out, but I'm pretty sure it is because I'm in the house and there are walls in between me and the transmitter. So, or me and the receiver. So that happens. Pardon me. There we go. I got my watch and we are back. To let you guys know, in a future project, in a future video, we will be having, hey, happy Friday, my friends. It is gorgeous in the Sonoran Desert. We did have somewhat of a heat episode over the last week, but it's cooling down just a little bit. If we're lucky, fingers crossed, if we're lucky, we're going to get some rain in the next week or so. If we're lucky, we need as much moisture as we can get out here. Moisture. We need as much wetness. We need as much rain as we can get out here. Just as a guy, I do live in Zone 9B in the Tucson, in Tucson, Arizona, in the southwestern United States American desert. So yeah, I live in the desert, guys. We just managed to create an oasis around us, but make no mistake about it, we live in the literal desert. And I think it's a unique environment to grow in. The indigenous folks have been doing it for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I'm not bringing anything new to the table, nothing at all. I'm just having fun. I'm experimenting. I'm hanging with folks, awesome folks just like yourself. So let me get those messages back up. Sorry about that, guys. Get their live check. Oh man, look, Christine, you're gonna start gardening off right. You're starting gardening off right just by hanging out and just by chilling in the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for clicking in. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the good words of the gardening nation. Thank you so much. Guys, if at any given time, look behind me, you're gonna see the pollinators pop up. You might see hummingbirds, you're gonna see goldfinches, lesser goldfinches, um, crap, sparrows, just you name it, just hawks. The hawks frequent a lot, so don't be surprised if you see the wildlife popping up behind me. But just like every single day when we start off on our gardening adventure, we have to actually get the garden started. And by doing that, that means that we have to do things basically to tend to the yard. You see, the Niger bird feeder is empty. I'm not going to mess with that hummingbird feeder. It's got some juice in there, but it's got a nice number of bees around the bottom of it feeding right now, and I'm not going to disturb them. I'm not. They're good money. And here's why I'm not going to disturb them. Remember how we used to have all of the flowering plants and it was just beautiful flowering towers all around? Well, a lot of those plants are removed. There aren't that many pollinating plants laying around, and the bees are accustomed to feeding in this yard. So that's all them right now. That's all them. Why tempt them to your yard? Why tell them that the treats are here if you're not going to keep it regular? So that's what I'm going to do. My bee friends, that's all you. But guys, I'm going to go in the house and I'm going to get the bird seed. And we're going to start off by filling a traditional bird seeder. You know what the larger sunflower seeds, pellet, millet, mullet. No, mullet's a hairstyle. Millet. I'm sorry, guys. It's in real time. There's no edit. If I'm laughing, you're laughing with me. You already know that. But I am going to go get the traditional bird seed, and then I'm going to get the Niger bird. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I forgot what kind of lizard it is, but it's, yep, right there on the tree. Up and down. Like I said, the wildlife is abundant in the yard. We try to attract as much natural wildlife as possible because this is nature. This is nature. So give me a second, guys. Let me go get the bird seed. I'll be right back. Oi! I'm telling y'all, I'm getting them steps in. Woo! I sure am. So we're back with our bird seed, and we spoke about it before, but I kind of, when you see me guys do this, pardon me guys, when you see me do that, that's me telling the gimbal to follow me again. And when you see me put up the hand stop signal, that's me telling the gimbal to stop. I don't want you to think that I'm just waving to imaginary people on the camera. I'm not. But let's get a little closer view. Come on. Oh, you can actually hear the bees when I walk past just now. That was pretty cool, I think. So here we go. Our first stop is going to be the traditional bird feeder. Very simple, guys. And this is, we like to attract birds and natural wildlife to our own backyard because number one, it's fun and it's just the best symphony and the best music naturally that you can provide for your environment. We have a pretty open and expansive backyard, especially being in Tucson and being in the desert. So the more birds, the better. Another thing to remember, which cracked me up, and I never realized it. I can't say another thing to remember. One thing that I realized, and like I said, guys, it cracked me up. I never realized. Birds eat seed. So don't laugh. Please don't laugh when I tell you this. When I grow plants to full maturity and I let them go to seed, the birds literally don't give a crap if it's seed from the bag or if it's seed from that plant. Birds love seeds, and birds have been eating seeds for like ever. So it's nothing for a bird to just go to that seed pod and be like, yo, this is natural for me to just eat from the seed pod. And it didn't dawn on me to make the connection between I can actually save money on bird seed by just letting plants go to flower and just letting them go to seed. It's more natural. It's more environmentally friendly. The birds like it. I like it. And shoot, if we all knew to do this from the beginning, then bird seed manufacturers, the companies that make this stuff and put it in bags, they would have been out of business a long time ago. But yeah, so I mean, just from observation, I know you guys are like, well, no duh, Chuck. That's obvious. That's what birds eat seeds. It didn't dawn on me that there's a differentiate, that there's no difference between the stuff that we're growing and what the birds are actually, what they're actually putting in the bags. So we're going to go to our Niger feeder. And I want to show you guys the difference. On the, oh, there's a hummingbird. Dude, I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to mess with that feeder. You see the bees on it. I want to see if he comes in front of the camera. He's like literally right there on the opposite side of the camera. But, and I am messing up. I did it again, guys. So after I fill this feeder, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to wash my hands. I should have gloves on right now. I do not. This is a big no-no. If you're handling bird feeders, either wear gloves or make sure you promptly wash your hands afterwards. Zoonovirus diseases are very real. They're very deadly. They can mess you up. You can catch something from a bird and then pass it on to your dog. Why do you want to make your dog sick unnecessarily? And the easiest way to avoid it is by wearing gloves when you're handling bird feeders or washing your hands promptly. So as soon as I'm done with this Niger feeder, I'm going to go inside with you, still online with me, because I want you to learn from my mistakes. And I'm not even going to play this off and act like what I'm doing is right or act like what I'm doing is clean. It's nasty. It is not right. And don't friggin' do it. Oh yeah, man, you're tuning into Together We Grow. We make mistakes. We make mistakes. We make them in real time. And I'm very honest about them. And then I try to fix them because I want you guys to learn from them. So give me 1 second. Please enjoy the view for a moment. I'll be right back. I'm a firm believer that cleanliness is next to godliness. So when you're out there and you're doing your thing in the garden, keep those hands clean. Wear gloves whenever appropriate and whenever necessary. Try to refrain from contact between other people and animals, especially when you're working out in the garden and you come into contact with items, food, whatever it may be, that wild animals come in contact with. Nature is your friend, but nature is not always friendly. So please be careful out there. Here we go, guys. Hands washed. We are back. I appreciate your patience. You guys are straight up awesome sauce. Thank you. A few numbers down. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay, though. So let's get the camera over here because I want you guys to see a quick update on what we did yesterday. Oh, sorry, bees. So yesterday, Pardon me, sorry about that, guys. Yesterday, we transplanted some tomatoes to the grow bed system, to Navajo grow bed number 1. And usually it would take a few days, especially if you're transplanting from one system, growing system, to another. And in this case, we transplanted from traditional growing, be it soil growing, to from soil growing to back to soil growing to our raised bed grow bed. And it took 0 time for the plants to transition. Tomato 1, tomato 2, tomato 3. You can see even the earlier leaves trying to get root and trying to get life back. And right here, you can see these guys are brand new here. They're brand new here. They're brand new in the system. But I want to remind you guys, remember when we were talking about the cacophony of color and just a parade of color going across your garden? Make sure my vocals on and everything. Oh my gosh, San Diego. Dude, it's a Jesse. San Diego is absolutely gorgeous. I was in San Diego for boot camp many moons ago. And if you ever want to talk about perfect weather, there are 2 places in the United States, and I promise you, 2 places, at least in my opinion, where you get basically perfect weather all year round, and that's San Diego, and that's Jacksonville, Florida. So 2 places in my opinion. But yeah, let's check out. So we have the tomato plant, we have the marigold, we have tomato, and we have tomato. All is good and ready here. But we want to talk about how those colors are going to pop, going across the entire garden. So that's the key. The key is we're trying to produce, pardon me, I'm getting this back on the tripod, that canopy right across the top. The more colors, the better. The more colors, the better. So it is that rainbow effect that we're actually going for. Sorry about this, guys. My tripod acts a little wonky sometimes, but we're going to get this. There we go. There we go. All the Seder, all good. So what we're trying to capture is actually the colors going across the entire canopy of the gardens. In the grow bed that we have right here, we have, oh my gosh. Like, I wish I could zoom this in, like just with my hands and be like, and just zoom it in so you guys can see the actual life, all of the insect life that's happening right on the topsoil. And I know if it's happening on the topsoil, I can only imagine, not even imagine, I know that it's thriving right underneath the soil with the red wriggler worm population. In the second grow bed, we're finally starting to get some initial mushroom growth. It's abundant in the first grow bed, in the first Navajo grow bed. The life is just thriving. It's just thriving in the gardening system. While we're here today, like I said, we're going to check up on those plants that we've been transplanting over the last couple of days, especially the growth in the lettuce plants. Because I got to tell you guys, like our lettuce is going through its last throws. Let me get you over here. There you go. Oh, let me tell it to stop following me. There we go. So let's get down here. Let's check out this lettuce real quick. Look at this, guys. Can you see the color? There we go. Look at the color on this lettuce, man. Just wow, that just got really big, Chuck. Oh man, I love hanging with y'all. I swear to God. But look at the color. You have this rich purple and red on the outside, but as those leaves hit to the center, that neon green, and this happened because the soil is so rich. The plant roots don't have to work to find any food. It's just right there. But look at bouquet. That's the only word I can think of. Look at that bouquet of color, and just look at how deep and rich the colors are on the chard surrounding the plants as well. On all of the surrounding plants. Same thing with the celery. Same thing with the kohlrabi. We're gonna pull one of these plants up today because to be honest, guys, I don't know what these are, and it's still bothering me. I literally don't know what this plant is, and when we pull one up today, hopefully one of you amazing folks can help me out and tell me, because when Rosie and I started this year's gardens, we were like, we're going to have more fun. It's going to be more about fun and less about production. So one of the things we said we're not going to label anything. because, like I said, we wanted it to be fun. So no labels. Everything was label free. What ended up happening was I don't know what anything is. So a bunch of this stuff, I literally don't know what it is. Like I said, welcome to Together We Grows Gardens, where gardening is fun all over again. And I don't know what half the stuff that I put inside of this grow bed is. I know it's growing, I know it's thriving, but I cannot identify it. Google Lens is my friend in this case, and I am going to howdy y'all. Oh my goodness. Guys, if you're just tuning in, my name is Chuck the Sandman Collins. Welcome to Together We Grow Sustainable Gardening Systems and Solutions. I am your gardening system solutions specialist. I take great pride in what we do over here. We have fun. We have fun, but we have fun through education and through gardening. This year's theme that we're working with is basically art. Garden is art. Art in form and function. And when we say that, we mean that you can use these plants to create some of the most incredible cacophony and symphonies of colors that are not just beautiful right now, but as they grow and as they mature, only gain in beauty and nutrition, only adds to your environment, only adds to positives to your body, mind, and soul. So gardening can also be art as well as nutritional. So that's basically our focus with our theme with this year's gardens. That includes our raised bed gardens. That includes our living wall over there. That includes our 21 port Brooklyn Bridge system, as well as our raised hydroponics grow bed. So if you guys have any questions, which I hope you do, please, please, please feel free. Inbox, hit me up. Let me know. Let me know what's going on. If you have any suggestions, let me know. If you have any recommendations, let me know. I listen, I hear you, and I'm there for you. And I only want to make this presentation better. For those who aren't aware, yesterday we were supposed to film our 1 hour special on the Uplift Network and premiere it, but we had some programming. We had to reprogram, not reprogram. We had to what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, you see, guys, see, I'm being diplomatic about this. Anyway, we had to reschedule the shoot. So we're looking at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on April 30th. That's 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on April 30th. We're working every single day to try to bring you the best presentation possible. During that presentation, we will be talking about everything from building our sustainable gardening systems to how you can turn them into a viable and a profitable business source for you. We're going to go back to that C word again. And you know, guys, no one always bringing up the C word. It is community. Without community, you cannot do this. Trust me. You have to get out there and meet your neighbors, talk to business owners, talk to shop owners, talk to local chefs, talk to local restaurant owners. The U.S. government specifically had just canceled this grant system where they were supplementing local farmers to provide locally sourced garden foods, groceries, plant food, and meat sources to government schools and to local school sources. So that grant's now done. That contract's now done. What that does is it leaves the door open for folks just like you and I to offer these services and offer these goods to these same businesses. And now they're able to offer and negotiate contracts with you. So guys, the opportunity's there. There's a I swear to God, man, the hummingbird's just like right there. I don't know why he avoids the camera, but it's a girl, but I don't know why she avoids the camera, but she's back and forth and it is just freaking hilarious. But yeah, it provides a business opportunity for you to go out there and get started. It'd be a lot tougher if one person did it, but if you got together with your community and you did these community grow sources, sort of like we do at Tucson Village Farm, you guys can make it happen. So when we do that Uplift special, that's what we're going to be talking about. For the folks that are asking, inquiring about when are my systems going to be available, because of the influx and the change in our supply sources, you guys don't know what's going on with the taxes and the tariffs. It would cost, and I'm just being 100% honest with you, it would cost you too much to buy one of my systems now. It literally would. It literally would. And the whole point of making these systems is to make it affordable to you so that you'll be able to grow sustainably at home. So instead of trying to sell you systems, and I know to every business owner out there, every business professional, they're like, Chuck, you're going against the golden rule. Profit, 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 always, always, always. Guys, I'm in my mid to upper 50s, and guess what? Profit don't mean all of that SH to the IT to me. It really doesn't. We're not promised tomorrow. We got to be good today. We got to help each other today. Again, we're not promised tomorrow. So instead of trying to sell you a system, I've been painstakingly working every single day to try to find ways to design systems that you can build just by using stuff around your house that will give you the same or like results as the systems that I would sell. My living wall systems go for between $800 and $4,000. I'm trying to teach you guys and show you how to do this so that you can just basically pick up stuff around your house and build like systems that aren't going to break your pocket. You don't need to go broke trying to eat. What the heck, man? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. And I understand you got people who will get a social media platform and they'll get on here and they'll throw their grip. I have no grip. Look around me, man. I got all of this without selling a damn thing. Look at me. And I'm just keeping it 100 with you. Look, I'm okay. I'm doing all right. We're eating. My grandmother put this in my system. It's in me. I want to do this. I want you guys to be able to do it. But it seems like every day someone else is trying to take something else away from us. I want to give you guys something, man. I want to give you hope. You guys can eat. I want to give you hope and just a belief that when those food recalls come in, and they do come in constantly and relentlessly, that you can just go to your backyard and you can just reach down or you can reach up and you can pick and pluck and you can know that your family is eating nutritiously and safe. For the love of God, that's all I want to do. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. But my youngest kid is in college. I'm good. No, I'm good. My older kids all are running businesses and all have degrees. I'm good. I want you guys to be able to eat. I want you to know that at the end of a hard work day or the end of or you had a rough day with your kids, whatever it may be, you can go in your backyard and you can just listen to the birds, the songs of the birds, the hums of the bees, the beauties of the plants, the songs of the trees. It's gorgeous. Just go out back and enjoy it. And if you don't have a backyard, we're going to show you how to do this on a patio. If you don't have a patio, we're going to show you how to do this on a windowsill. Come on, man. You can keep saying you don't have, you don't have, you don't have. And together we're growing. We're going to show you how to grow nutritious vegetables underneath your bed. No sunlight. Yep. We are a zero excuse, no reason why you can't do it company. And I hope I'm not scaring you guys. Oh, you guys are still with me. Awesome, 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 awesome. Oh my gosh. Good question. Good question, Chris. Do we recommend overhead shading? Yesterday, we spoke about, so I'm so glad you brought this up because I want to reiterate it. Yesterday, we spoke about correct and proper garden placement and garden planning when it comes to setting up your systems. We live in Arizona, as you guys know, Chris was just asking, and we do get relentless sun. But the sun's natural path is to travel from east to west. It's called ecliptic. It's the same path that planets, including our own, the Earth and the moon, all heavenly bodies in our solar system, they all travel that same path. And you can see that arc. Food for thought, because I'm actually an astronomer by trade. I'm not a gardener. I'm a world-class astronomer. I love astronomy. Anytime you see those planetary formations where you'd be like, you can see the planets are going to be lining up like such and such. The planets are basically always lined up. It's just that our placement in the night sky changes our perspective and our view of where those planets are at. So the planets are always following the ecliptic. Same thing with the moon, same thing with the sun. It's that arc going from east to west. If you watch your plant's life cycle, you'll see your plants do that throughout an entire season. During the summer months when the sun is high, the plants are pointing straight up. During the fall months and going into the spring and the winter months, fall, winter, and spring months, fall and winter months, when the sun is lower on our horizon, you'll actually see the plants reaching out like this to go towards the sun on the horizon. It was at that moment that I started actually appreciating, recognizing, realizing, and just loving the ferocity and the veracity that these plants have just to be alive. They want to be alive just as much as you and I. And they figured out how to do it with as little work as possible. Now, it's interesting, that whole notion about the plants following the path of the sun, especially when the sun rises up, there's a term for that, a fitness term for that. It's called grounding. And we do recommend it at Together We Grow. If you guys ever notice, when I'm at the hydroponic grow bed on the other side of the yard, there's actually a patch of dirt. The hawk just landed on, the falcon just landed in the tree. But there's actually a patch of dirt right in front of the hydroponics grow bed, and it goes about 2 feet into the ground. In our yard, because of where we live in Tucson, we actually have good soil. We don't have caliche. I always talk about caliche in the desert, which is the prominent foundation, prominent substrate source on the ground. But where I live at in Tucson, this is actually a pretty fertile place. This was farmland. Actually, this is naturally farmland. So we have pretty viable soil underneath my feet. So on that little ground patch over there, anytime I'm over there, well, not anytime I'm over there, sometimes when I go over there early in the morning, when the sun's right at about 15 degrees, I think it is 12 or 15 degrees, something like that, I'll take my shoes off, socks off, and I'll ground myself with the magnetic core of the earth as well as the rays from the sun. You always want to make sure that your abdomen is exposed. It is such a rush of energy. It's basically telling your body to change from what it was doing at night to make you sleep to be awake and to start absorbing calories and to be functional during the day. Grounding is a very real thing. That one tent that I have in my house that used to be the our indoor sustainable gardening tent, now it's our far infrared and near infrared rejuvenation chamber. I've taken that entire process and I duplicated it inside of my house. So now at any given time of the day, with a push of a couple of buttons, I can do that entire process. And I gotta tell you guys, that's why you got this right here in my mid 50s. I can turn this camera off right now and go run 10 miles like it ain't nothing. Okay, yes, I will not run 10 miles like it ain't nothing because I am in a desert and it is super hot, but I can run 10 miles. I know it seems like I'm drifting a little bit, but I'm not, guys. It's all about sharing, getting the word out there, getting the knowledge out there. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to go to the other side of the yard. We're going to go to that hydroponics system, the grow tray that we were just talking about. And we do have to harvest. We have to harvest our green onions. This is way overdue. We should have done this a few days ago. We didn't do it yet. I know. But we're going to have to chop these guys down. When we chop them down, there are two things that I could do. I could hang them outdoors because right now our climate is basically a natural dehydrator itself. So I could hang these guys outdoors and they're going to dry out on their own. Or I can do the process that we do in a house, which is actually to use our industrial dehydrator. So give me a minute. I'm going to go and grab the scissors and we are going to get to chopping some of these trees down. Enjoy the view, my friends. I'll be right back. I gotta tell you guys, this is never going to get old. The fact that I can still be on camera with you guys and still talk to you, but I'm in the air-conditioned, temperature-controlled shed. That shed that our solar panels are on, it's not insulated, but it is temperature-controlled on the inside. We have a lot of stuff. This is where I do all of my inventions. This is where I come up with all of the ideas. And I didn't want an inundated production season to where I can't do anything because it's too hot or it's too cold. So we had to make it climate controlled center for me to do my work. When it comes to harvesting green onions, initially, when you take those onion scraps and you put them out here, pluck them when they're young because it's only going to what's it called? Not provide, I forgot the term, but it's only going to encourage more aggressive growth in the more mature leaves. So I'm going to take this about 1/2 inch from the bottom. Let's see if you guys can see that. It's actually, you can squeeze that and just look at that. Look at that. Look at that juice. Look at that. That's the flavor. That's the flavor. This is so matured. Those veins that you see in there, just the colorations, the changes in the color. Once this is chopped up, once this is processed, once this is dehydrated, this becomes sweet. It is so, I can't even begin to express it. I know you think onion scraps, right? Sweet, incredibly sweet. So let's get those. I think we're going to have a pretty good harvest today. What do you guys think? And we don't want to chop everything down. We don't want to do that. And Here's why, if you do it at home and you do it correctly, it's organic. Here's why you get paid more for this stuff in stores. Now, a bag of this stuff, I already told you guys, I think it's 6 or 8 ounce, the little jars, whatever it may be, um, sell for between $13 and $32 for a little bottle, all organic. I'm not going to use this. You see the part that's already sort of dehydrated, that's already started dried out and gone? I'm not going to use that. I'm going to offer a better product because I know that that's going to distort that sweetness just a little bit. It may be a little too sweet, it may be a little less sweet. What I know is I know that middle ground that I want to find with these plants. So that's what I'm going to go for. And the distributors, the buyers, they know that as well. So they're going to be looking for the same thing. They're going to know if you're trying to sell them crap. Don't try to sell them crap. Here's how I think about it. And here's how I want to recommend. I want you guys to think about it, if you can. Remember, this usually would have been garbage. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. This usually would have been, thank you so much. Man, see, here we go. You guys choose to spend your time with me. I don't know why. I thank you. Humble's not even a word. I really thank you. If I can do anything to make your day just a little bit better, bring a smile, you know, some hope. We all go through it, man. And we got to realize we're all going through it together. You know, why not just plant that first seed so that together we'll grow? It's a whole world out there. And you know, sometimes I think there's a whole world out there and it shouldn't take a lifetime to learn it. Like we should just love it up at the beginning. I'm not going to get all teary-eyed and all that with you guys, but most homes usually take stuff like this and they throw it in the trash, and they take stuff like this and they throw it in. Sorry, guys. Sorry. They'll take stuff like this and they'll throw it in the trash, and they don't realize that it's actually treasure. There's treasure in. Sorry, guys. It's the onions. There's treasure that's just waiting to be found in all of our kitchens. And, you know, I got to be honest, guys, my grandmother would have been so proud. She would. And I can't stop thinking about her right now. Even in her last days when she was in the wheelchair. Onions. Sorry, guys. I got allergies. I'm sorry about that. She would have been right out here with me. She would have. And she would have loved every second. So when my kids come out here and they're working with me in the gardens and it's by choice, I'm sorry, guys. I got allergies and I'm in the desert, so I apologize. You know, the program that we do at Tucson Village Farm, the student program, this past Wednesday was the last day of the kids' spring program. And I'm going to miss those kids so much. They took this stuff that we're doing here, that you choose to hang with me, and we talk about every single day. Again, sorry, I'm sorry, I got the allergies. Sorry. They took this knowledge and they're changing their communities with it. They're building these systems at home, and they're teaching people abroad outside of the school how to build these systems. That's mind blowing. And some of these kids, they're the kids that society said couldn't do it. They had a bunch of adults gave up on. And there's this one student, I won't say any names because privacy, but there's this one student, guys, and they told me, you're my favorite adult person on this planet. It tore me up. Because too often, the adult people on this planet aren't recognizing our youth for the magnificence that they are. And if you are a younger adult and you're watching this, pardon me, I got allergies, I apologize. But if you are a younger adult and you're watching this, I want you to know I believe in you. I really do. And I know without you, we ain't gonna make it. And I know that you're the difference. So I encourage you to go out there and plant that first seed. I encourage you to get into gardening. I encourage you to get involved in your community. I encourage you to be the difference. You can be the catalyst for change. You can. And if you're an adult like myself, don't rob these kids of their hope. Encourage them. Remind them that they're the future that all of us depend on, because they absolutely are. I'm sorry, guys. I bet you, like all of you left, you probably stopped watching by now. I apologize. Yo, my dad would be so proud. He would. He was an avid gardener. It's not like he was growing to actually produce because it was a necessity to feed his family. My dad was a cop. My dad was a corrections officer, had an illustrious career in the military, served his country proudly. But he loved to garden because he loved to detach, to get away, to just break away from this cement, this brick and mortar world that we've created. You go out there and you get your hands in the dirt and it becomes different. So it really doesn't matter if it's a large pot. It doesn't matter if it's small. It doesn't matter if it's sustainable. It doesn't well, it does matter if it's sustainable. Try to make it sustainable if possible. But as long as you're gardening, that's all that matters. You know, some of you guys have been hanging with me for like the last week. And boy, we had our shares of ups and downs with equipment and stuff like that. But I honestly got to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I've had so much fun just hanging with you folks, communicating, talking back and forth. For all of you that have sent me the emails and the messages and the text with your addresses and your names, early next week or middle next week, we're going to be getting that merch out. So we're going to be sending that merch out, the t-shirts, the cups. We thank you guys so much for hanging with us all the time. Like we always say, we know you have better stuff that you could be doing, but you choose to take your time and hang with us. And that means the world to me. We are going to have quite the bundle of onion greens over here. I don't know if you guys noticed that yet, but we are. So I think it's May 5th or something like that. May 5th, May 6th. That's the actual award ceremony where I'm the proud recipient of the 2005 basically School of Agriculture, Veterinary Science, and Life Study for the University of Arizona's Science Communicator of the Year award. Yeah, this little guy from upstate New York, from Little Corn Hill, received that prestigious award. And I'm blown away, and I'm so humbled by it because I'm just a guy who likes to go out in the backyard and garden and encourage people to do the same. Just a reminder, you look at this onion green right here. We're not going to use this whole thing. Snap off right there. I'm not going to throw this out. This isn't going to go to waste. It's still going to get dehydrated, but it's going to go in the compost. I'm not going to take any of that already over ripened, that already dehydrating and drying out leaves. I'm not going to put that into the onion green blend. You don't want to do that because you don't want to distort the flavor. The more of a control, what's the word can I use? Not as much controlled, but what's the word I'm looking for? Constant. You want to keep your flavor profile constant. So when you are talking to these distributors, when you are talking to these restaurateurs, to these chefs, they know exactly what they're getting from your product. And because you are going to be making and selling and producing from small batch, consistency, that's the word I was looking for. Sorry about that. Consistency is key. These businesses, these establishments are always willing to pay more for your consistency, especially if you are going to be their primary source and you are only providing to them. Now you see, remember we talked before when I was talking about you have supply and you have demand, you find that niche. You find your niche and you fulfill your niche. So that's what we want to go for, right, guys? We find that niche, we fulfill that niche. I am going to take this one down. Just chop off that little brown end right here. And those little brown ends, I'm just taking them, just setting them to the side. I haven't done it primarily to all of them, just once in a while because I want to show you guys the process. When I bring these inside, before I chop these up, before I cut them up in a little 1/4 inch, and here's how we would dehydrate them, just to let you know. If you're going to use a dehydrator, all right, 1/4 inch strips, just like that, not like this, not like this, 1/4 inch strips, just like that. And you want a flat layer on each bed of the dehydrator. Under no circumstances do you want these guys piled up. Just throw them in handfuls and bunches and just hope that throughout the process that they're going to dry. Consistency is key. Remember, guys, you're turning this into a business. You're taking something that was trash and you're going to turn it into treasure. So take some time to do it correctly. Take some time to add your perfection to it. The suppliers, pardon me, the buyers will recognize it. They will respect it, and they do pay a little bit extra for you doing that. Remember, they're not just paying for onion greens. They're paying for the process and the time because they know the work you had to put in order to produce that. Keep that in mind. We're building a business model, all right? Supply, demand, business model. So yes, we're talking about gardening and we're in the gardens right now, but we're also talking about building a proper and a sustainable, a viable and profitable business model. So you want to take your time in curating and perfecting and processing your product. Give them the best at all. Give them the best you can. Yesterday, we spoke a little bit about what if you can't do it all at once? Well, the idea is you're not supposed to. We're going to bring up that C word again. Community. Community is key. Community is everything. Maybe you're the person who can go out there and you got a little bit of space where you can cultivate these onion green crops. That's what you do for the community. Maybe someone doesn't have time, but they have a little bit of money. They can go out there and they can get your packaging. They can go out there and they can buy the labels. They can buy the stickers. Work with your family. All of the Mama Rosa and Together We Grow merch, all of the labels, all of the stickers, all of the t-shirts and stuff, those are all designed in-house by Rose, Charlie, and my boys. It's all family affair. So you communicate, talk to your family, get them involved, grow that business, grow the brand, because you're not just gardening. A reminder, on April 30th, we're going to do that 1 hour uplift special. It's going to be about gardening, but it's going to be about how to take this garden and to turn it to a viable, profitable business at your very own house. So a lot of these steps, a lot of these recommendations, you guys can do right now. You don't have to wait for the 1 hour special. You can do right now and you can have it prepared. And when that 1 hour special comes up, you guys are going to be heads up above the rest of the class. And we are really going to take off with that special. So we've just been sitting here, just hanging, just chilling, just talking. While we're doing it and dealing with allergies, I apologize again. But this is what we have so far. And I can tell you, this is about 4 jars. I'm gonna take, remember, we're gonna trim the ends. This is about 2 or 3 jars of the processed onion powder. And our jars sell for around, depending on what our supply is, we don't sell our jars for less than $22. So this is 22 times 3 or 22 times 4, maybe if we stretched it right there. Scraps in my hand. Now, for the growers and the gardeners out there who are saying, oh, there's no way, Google's your friend. Google's your friend. Look up organic onion powder. green onion powder. Look it up. All right. No preservatives, no additives. Look it up. You can be the benefactor of turning trash into treasure. All you have to do is try it. That's it. All you have to do is try it. So I encourage you guys to get out there, get to gardening, get to growing, find those niches, those little pockets to where there's a demand and fill that supply. You can be the one to do it. What kills me is when people tell you you can't because they haven't. That's what bothers me, when people tell you that you can't do something because they haven't done it. That's that sucker. Sorry, that's that sucker stuff to me. That's that sucker stuff to me. Get off your tail and do it. Do it. Like literally do it. For you folks that are just tuning in, the first time that I actually went viral, there's this production company called Paragraphic, and they did a little documentary about me 4 years ago, something like that. It's got almost 11 million views. It's the most popular aquaponics video online in the world right now. It has been for the last 3 or 4 years. And when I did that video, I was constantly being berated and laughed at, even sometimes in my own house, because they were like, how are you going to grow plants out of rocks and fish poop? Because they had not seen it done, it was hard for them to wrap their heads and to fathom their minds around it. Did you know, related but sort of unrelated, the Native Americans, when the Spanish actually came here, when they actually came to the coast and their ships were on the horizon, the Native Americans saw the ships but never actually fathomed that those were ships because they'd never seen anything in that shape or in that form before. Therefore, they didn't even register that it could be real. That's how it is with sustainable gardening. Yeah, with rocks and fish poop, I can grow plants way better than you can in a natural ground, in a natural traditional way. That's where it all came from. That's where it all came from. And what ended up happening at that same time, God bless us and thank God that we ended up getting through it. We ended up having the hottest year, 365-day period in the state of Arizona's history, in our recorded history, the hottest year ever in modern history. Dead serious. Our entire summer was basically 108 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit the entire summer. We had catastrophic crop failure across the entire state. Gardens were just dying and dying, dying. The whole time, our aquaponics garden was producing 25, 30-pound watermelons like nothing, like gangbusters. Without using an active, truly active cooling unit, all we had was a fan distributing the hot air that rises, because that's what hot air does in water. It rises from the bottom, hot air molecules weigh less, so they rise to the top. You use a small fan to remove those hot air molecules. It can only be displaced and replaced with cooler air molecules from the bottom. A little bit of science, but that's how we keep our systems cool. I told you guys a secret, I shouldn't have told you. But that's the science that we apply when it comes to keeping our systems cool. I hope you guys are still with me, are you? Oh man, you are. Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, my name is Chuck the Sandman Collins. I'm with Together We Grow, and we are your sustainable gardening solution specialists. Today we're harvesting onion scraps, onion greens, and we are going to be taking these in the house. We're going to be washing them. We're going to remove all of the brown tips, all of the brown ends, and we are going to be chopping these up in little 1/4-inch strips. We're going to lay them in a flat layer across our industrial dehydrator, and in about 8 hours, these are going to be done. We're going to take them, we're going to put them in our little grinder, in our processor, and we're going to turn these 5-stage pumps into a fine powder. And that fine powder, and that's another part that this comes to. When it comes to the final process of your green onions, there are stages that you can go into. You can go into, leave them whole. It's going to be a lot harder to sell them that way, because people can just go to a store and buy green onion scraps. When they're purchasing from you, they're purchasing for the time that you put into the process to make it into something that it actually wasn't in the beginning. They're purchasing the time that you're putting into the process. I want to remind you that they're purchasing the time that you put into the process. The more time you put into the process, the more you can charge for that purchase and the more that they're going to pay for it. Business 101. You guys got this? You got it. So you can leave these whole, just like as is. They can always find better looking ones in the store, so that's not what you want to do. You can chop them in a 1/4-inch, like I said, dehydrate them, and then leave them just in a 1/4-inch. That's really good, because those go great in soups. They go great in stews. You can grab them right out of there, dump them right into the stew, handful, whatever, 1/4 cup, whatever, and they rehydrate, and they're just as good as Bob's your uncle, and they're good as when you first cut them. The more time you put into the process, the more the purchasers are going to pay for the final product. The more time you put into the process, the more purchasers are going to pay for the final product, especially when it comes to something as delicate as green onions. When you refine them and when you turn them into, when you chop them up and you put them into the processor and you turn them into the powder, we do a 5-stage process: coarse, less coarse, lesser coarse, fine, super fine. Super fine, it, guys, just like an eighth of a teaspoon of this stuff. You put it into that pack. As soon as you scoop it out, it's sublime to your senses. Sensory, you can already taste it before you even put it in the food. So just an eighth of a teaspoon of that, and it's just sprinkled over a soup or over a stew, and it changes the entire profile of that meal, because the green onion scraps are pungent. They are pungent. They are packed with flavor. They are packed. When you turn it into that process, when you give it that process and you turn it into that powder, that flavor goes through the roof. So today, if you guys are just tuning in, we talked about the update for the upcoming 1 hour special. We processed some green onions. We cut some green onion scraps. We trimmed the garden. We talked about how to process these. We talked about how to work with community, and how some people may be the plant starters, some people may be the plant growers, some people may buy the packaging, some people may be able to help with the labels. But together as a community, you can make this a viable product, and you can make this a sustainable business platform and growing and profitable system. I hope you guys are having a blast with me. I know I'm having a blast with you. Let me change this camera around so I can give you a decent view. I'm going to go into the house real quick. I'm going to grab me a glass of water. I hope you guys are enjoying this presentation. I'm not done. I hope you don't want me to finish yet. Oh my gosh, it's almost an hour. Are you serious? Shoot. What the heck, guys? It's almost an hour. I know you guys are tired of me, right? You guys got better stuff to do, right? You want to get out of here? You guys finished with your old boy? You done? Nah? You want to stick around for a little bit more? I can't believe it's almost been an hour. That is nuts, man. Oh my God, Christine, composting. Christine, tell them, composting is key. Composting is key, guys. Zero waste. That's what you want to manage in your gardens. That's what you want to manage in your yards. Composting is key. I'm going to have a giveaway during that 1 hour special. All right. And what we're going to be giving away, drum roll, please, a countertop composter, the same one that we use in our house. I say that because they're not cheap. They're fairly expensive. But when I tell you guys have seen the traditional gardens over there. And you know that when we water them, with the efficiency of the water going through the system, it ends up creating a tea that we cut with water, 1 part tea, 4 parts water, and we use that to feed the traditional plants that we have in pots in the front of our house, in our front yard, as well as the traditional plants that we have in pots in the backyard. When I tell you guys that you are going to cut your food scrap waste in your house down by no less than 95%, like literally within a week, you're going to look at your trash can, you're going to be like, holy cow. And then you're going to look at your gardens and you're going to look at those plants and you're going to be like, why isn't every house doing this? Well, back in the days, those countertop composters, they weren't efficient. They were energy hogs. They were emissions beasts. The newer ones, not so much emissions beasts. We're fortunate because we do have the solar panels that provide the power for our countertop composter. So it's free for us. It's, well, not free because you got to pay for the composter, but the energy consumption is absolutely free. We're using the sun to create food for the plants that the sun is already growing. And the sun, you see what I mean? You see that? Did you guys see how cool that cycle is? You see how cool that loop is right there? Like, how dope is that? We think everyone should be on board with the growing system or a growing technique like that. Or, you know what? Take the idea, the suggestions that we're doing here, and my biggest dream, you do them bigger. You do them better. And then you come back to me and then you tell me, and I swear to God, I'm going to do exactly what it is that you're doing. I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying not to be hungry. I don't know if you guys heard that, but write it down. If you don't got a pen, then remember it then. I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying not to be hungry. And I hope you guys are on the same page. I'm going to take our onion scraps I'm going to get these bad boys in the house. I am going to give them a good rinse. I'm going to give them a chop. And then tomorrow, I'm going to show you guys, if I remember, I'm old, I be forgetting stuff. I'm going to show you guys the finished product, the onion powder. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you had fun hanging out with me. Um, get out there, get green, get the gardening. Holla at your boy. Please, if you haven't done so, hit like, subscribe, hit that button so that you're alerted every time that we pop up with yours truly. And we can do really cool gardening stuff and talk about everything in the desert under the sun. Always green, always organic, always us. Until we talk again, plant that first seed, and together we grow, my friends. Peace and blessings.